Hi, Theo. Welcome.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks for doing it.
No problem.
I was gonna be prepared to say your full name, but I'll have to read it, and it's good that it's on my screen because it's hard to remember. Theo Kapodistrias.
That's
Um,
it.
the only word that I know close to it is Capoduster. Like the thing that you put on a guitar.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So maybe educate me what Kapodistrias stands for.
I don't know if it means anything. It's a Greek surname, but I don't know if it actually has a particular meaning. But I do know that the first
In the history.
president of Greece was a Kapodistrias, so the name's got a lot of
Oh
history.
wow. So yeah, so it's not an uncommon name, I guess. So name. You never
Mm.
researched.
Well, I don't think there is a meaning to it. Like I've tried looking, but I haven't found
Okay,
anything. Yeah,
okay. I will let you know.
thank you.
Yeah. I'm interested. Well, not that I'm interested in names or anything, but lately I was kind of watching, you know, medieval movies, like about
Mm.
Roman Empire and Greece and everything, and they all have this, like Latin Greek names. So yeah, like it's my, it's. I guess I'm curious about it right now. So yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Um, okay, and you obviously Greek background, and another interesting fact I learned recently is that Melbourne is the second by Greek population city in the world.
Yeah, outside of Greece, it's pretty crazy.
No, inside the Greece as well. So Athens is number one, Melbourne is number two.
Ah.
Yeah. I don't know how they count. Like, is it like passport holders or like ethnicity? But yeah,
Mm.
so the second largest city in Greece, like, kind of has less Greek population than Melbourne. But I also forgot where you were. Are you in Melbourne?
No, I'm in Hobart.
Oh, you're in Hobart. Okay, yeah. What's
Yeah.
the Greek population there?
Not huge, probably 6 or 7,000.
Yeah, okay. Well, Hobart is not that big anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, free flow conversation. Obviously, that's how I like to keep it. Just to let you speak up about yourself. I think I already spoke up about myself for so many episodes. People, if they tune in, they can already know too much about me.
Mm.
But yeah, I like that. I like that you are into like presentation skills specifically. Yeah, tell me maybe how you got into it.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I guess I kind of kicked off a like speaking a lot, particularly in the early years of my career as a lawyer, and I started getting asked to speak at conferences. The first major one was and probably my first actual proper speaking opportunity was a big conference, international conference in New Zealand. So it was a project I was part of in terms of just a way of working with different collaborators. And the organization reached out to me and some colleagues in other areas of the business. So not just the legal, not the legal office, that was me, but then a couple other people from different areas and said, look, could you come and join us at this event and speak about what you're doing? Because we've heard it's pretty cool. So yeah, we said yes, and then off we go to New Zealand for sort of my first speaking opportunity. It was a huge room, uh, 4, 5, 600 people. So it was a big sort of event, and I had my own speaking slot of about 20 minutes, and it was just so cool. It was so much fun, and I thought I
You
love
just like
this.
enjoyed it. Yeah, wow, that feeling of being on
Just
stage,
loved
or
it.
like, but did you like just before like uh I don't know if I should say that my daughter just had a concert. It's like end of year performance show that they do,
Mm,
where they sing and dance. Basically, like she's 9 year old, so it's just like a early theatrical music theater, basically. And she said, "Oh, somebody vomited something just before because of
yeah.
the nerve." So, and you felt great before, or it was like before you feel awful, but then on stage you feel better.
I didn't feel awful. Like there's always like a sense of nerves, but that's normal. Like that's your adrenaline. Um, So
Yeah.
had that, those like that little feeling like, oh, this is
Yeah.
scary, but then actually
What
doing
really
it,
happened?
you're fine. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
But then I guess that opportunity then led to more and more and more and more and more. And then it got to the point where I said, I'm going to turn this whole speaking thing into a business because I keep getting asked to do it. So
Okay.
maybe I've got something useful to share, and then started, I guess, speaking on things that I wanted to speak on. So not only the stuff that the event organizers said, "Oh, we need a speaker for this," it was then
Wait.
me putting out my thought leadership.
Wait. They. So previously you were in the legal profession. Yeah. But
Still
what you
am,
first
yeah.
or still are actually. Yeah. So yeah, and good money, I guess. Wait. But what your first event that you described, you were invited to speak on behalf of your company, or it was like, hey, this is the message that we want to put out, so we just hire you as a speaker. What was it?
No, it was a project we were working on. So it was a way of working in a collaborative sense between different departments of an organization, and people weren't doing stuff like that. So uh, there was a submission process to speak at the event, and one of, I guess, the teammates that I was collaborating with put a submission forward to say, "Hey, have you heard about this sort of way of working?" Um, and then they came back and said, "We want to invite you to speak." And I was one of the, I guess, people penciled in. So it was for the project and way of working, but also on behalf of the company. So
Okay, but you
like pretty
didn't.
much every,
You were not the
sorry.
key person. Like you didn't own the project. You didn't. You weren't like project champion. You were just the speaker, like a front face.
No, I was like, it was a way, I don't know how to explain it. So it was a way of working together collaboratively as a group of people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we implemented agile methodology as a way of
Ah.
working on a
Okay.
legal research project. So this is something that hadn't been done
Okay.
creatively
Now.
in
Okay.
2017 in terms of like taking an idea from the software world, implementing it into
Yeah.
this sort of way of doing like the contractual and governance process for a
Yeah.
research project,
Yeah.
which is why we, as sort of the administrative team behind it, decided to flip the way we would work on its head and
Yeah.
say, rather than us, yeah, and that's what we got asked to speak on. But that's
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
neither here nor there because it's not that important
I
to the
have to.
scheme of
I
things.
have to ask you. You know I'm
Yeah,
agile. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
We
I
love
have
it.
to
It's good.
ask you details. I have to. I need to get that feedback. Like I will not. I will not let it go. Like
Yeah.
agile. So for instance, like Scrum practitioner in front of you. Yeah. So we
Hmm.
split things in iterations, and we see a lot of agile popping up everywhere. So Elon Musk is a great example. Yeah. Iterative development of rockets. Yeah. So don't take 10 years to build a rocket and then blow it off. No, blow it off like next month as a prototype,
Yeah.
and then iterate. Block one, block two, block three, iterative. Right. So that's agile. Were you able to implement it in legal space?
Well, it wasn't only legal. That was the point, right? So it's about bringing all these different parties together to say, okay, we need like 20 of us to bring this project together,
Yeah.
because for the environment that I was working in, there
Yeah.
were so many steps along the way. We used to follow the waterfall process. So you'd say, okay, you go here, then you go here, then you go here, then you go here. Instead, it's let's bring everyone together at the front
Yeah.
face of it.
Yeah.
Let's actually figure out who needs to do what, when, how, why. Do a regular stand up,
Yeah.
um, work in a sprint, get all this
Yeah.
stuff done, and then like let's actually understand where the bottlenecks are, where the issues are, and how we can make it move forward. So, you know, that's how we like started working as a collaborative team, uh, which was kind of unusual for the particular space we were in because this is like a
Well,
university environment, and it just wasn't how we worked and implemented it. But yeah, that's what we did. Beside the point, though, that's what we got asked to speak on. That's how I kind of started the whole speaking stuff and why I got invested in this idea of presentations. Because after that, I then started getting asked to speak at various events on different stuff. Not that I'd never spoken on that again until maybe
yeah.
2018 when I did a presentation to a legal conference about how to work collaboratively. and how to implement different ways of thinking.
Mhm.
But that's not stuff I speak on now, because I decided that I don't want to speak on things that aren't sort of my thought leadership and the things that I'm interested in. So that was 2017 when this all started.
Yep.
We then go to 2020, where I then launched my sort of space as a speaker and said, I want to speak on communication and presentation skills and how we can implement that to speak up, show up, and make an impact with our voice and words. And that's kind of where I kicked off my speaking stuff and communication work. And then from there, kind of transformed into like, let's add on coaching, let's add on um, an online course, let's add on workshops, let's add on facilitation. Like, let's actually get people to come together and figure out how to do this stuff really well. And that's kind of, where things
Now you
transpired.
have like a training framework by which you can educate the companies, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah,
Um,
companies, but also individuals can come on board and say, like, if they want to do one-on-one work, then they can work with me
yeah,
and we can do that. Or, if you want to do like an online course because they don't want to work with a person one-on-one, then they've got online on-demand program that they can just do themselves.
and it's all about public speaking or speaking in front of even like internally, like within the company. You want to improve your skills. You do that as well.
It's all the same. So
Mhm.
any form of public speaking is speaking in front of one other person, right? So knowing how to speak to one group, three people, 1,000, same skills.
Really?
Um, Same skills, right? Like, obviously, it's going to depend on the particular audience that you're talking to and how they want to interpret the information that you're sharing.
Sure.
And that's one of the first things that we always work on. So, who are you talking to? Like, who's your audience, and how are you going to create something that's going to be meaningful and important to them? So, that's one of
Yeah.
the kind of like really pivotal things to get right up front. Understanding who your audience is and what's important for them to walk away from listening to you. Because if you're going to speak for 45 minutes to an hour on a particular thing, what is it that they are going to benefit from this?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Um, I'm not good at public speaking. I'm better at one-on-ones. And
Yeah.
still, like if I start using your technique, I'll be like I'll be stopping all the time, thinking like I always get in trouble, even in the company if I just speak up my mind, you know. But if
Yeah.
I don't, if I have filters, it's so uncomfortable, and I have to think what to say, what not to say, and then I just like I get a bit lost, nervous, start sweating. So I just hate it. Yeah. So, but at the same time, it always gets me in trouble if I never have filter. So I guess there is a need for what you're doing.
Mm.
And it's not that easy. It's good that it came naturally to you. Would you say so, or you also learned it from someone?
No, it's a skill, right? Because I've developed it, and I've done my own work to work on it, because it doesn't just happen. So I've done work with I guess a number of different trainers and coaches. I used to do drama school in high school
Oh,
and
very good.
and college. So like, theater training really gets you up to scratch with how to present, like how to project your voice, how to articulate, how to use good
Yeah.
diction, uh, all that
And you
sort
were
of
never
stuff. And
shy, yeah? So you were
oh,
like
no, I
natural.
was very shy, very, very
You were.
shy.
You had to
Yeah.
overcome. Did you overcome your shyness back in the school days where you did drama, or later in life? Or you still shy?
Uh,
You shy now?
Not shy now. No, not shy anymore. Very extroverted now. Like, love being in a room with people. That's probably like where I get my energy and get excited for all that sort of stuff. But yeah, really, for me, it was about overcoming, I guess, that shyness. I didn't like performing. I didn't like being in front of a room. I didn't like a lot of that stuff. I was hated it, actually. So it was one of those things I had to like learn and develop and push through. But
Yep.
it's about proving to yourself that you can do it. So to gain confidence, you first need to have courage. So like when we were talking about, that before you get on stage, you feel that sort of nervousness.
Mhm.
That's totally normal, right? Because it's that feeling of that little bit of adrenaline that's running through your body.
Yeah.
And there's ways to move through that. You can either use that energy for good, and that empowers you to do a really good presentation, or you use that in a negative way because you talk yourself into thinking that you're going to be terrible and all of that stuff, and then you just goes into a spiral. But once you prove to yourself that you can do it, so you get up on stage and you speak and it's fine, and you don't crap your pants, and you don't um, I don't
Nothing
know,
like
the
like nobody died. Yeah.
nobody died, it's all good, then that
So in
is
a
proof to
way,
yourself.
this development process itself is agile. Yeah. So you just try
It's iterative. Yeah,
and iterate, and you grow your confidence. And yeah, so and courageous people are also afraid. Yeah, it's not like if you're not afraid, then there is no courage in what you're doing, right? So it's when you're afraid
exactly.
to overcome it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So courage leads to confidence is kind of the most important thing. You can only get to confidence. You don't just wake up confident one day. It's something that builds. You build that confidence capacity.
Yeah. You know what? Because I work in IT profession, this advice is very valuable because I think computer people they use their profession or computer to escape. And right now, everyone does it. Yeah, all around the world, people just walk with their phones. They feel more comfortable just staring at the phone, not making eye contact. Um,
Yeah,
and we are, I guess, we are more prone to this because we are like staring at the desks, and it's our job. And you feel like, even I sometimes feel, even as a manager, I feel like when I face something in the office environment, some challenge or whatever, I just go to my desk and I just like in my cocoon, kind of in my safety zone. It's like, and I just like kind of, I feel like in the back of my head, I feel like I'm escaping,
yeah,
like that problem that I'm facing with people with communication. But I also have justification. But I need to finish this task. So, and a lot of IT people, they can escape into that task, and it causes a lot of trouble. Speaking of agile, like everyone knows that, and that's what agile is fixing in IT environment. Just people like miscommunication. Yeah, because developers they just don't want to talk, they don't want to understand, they don't want to explain, they don't want to have patience, like they're shy.
mm,
So then they think if I just do the task, I'll be patted on the head. But in the end, the task is wrong, either the duplication, you know, or misunderstood requirements, and it's a disaster because like everyone wanted to do a good thing, but didn't communicate. Um, yeah,
yeah, it's true. And I don't think people realize the amount of communication that goes into like an IT project, and how many stakeholders are involved, and how it really is that iterative process where you do have to collaboratively communicate and work with each other to get to that final point. So, people often say to me, "Why do I need presentation skills if I'm a this?" And like, well, you know,
mm,
it's kind of an essential skill in our workplace. Like, you might not necessarily get up standing in front of like thousands of people to do a big presentation, but these skills are going to be useful for you for if you're dealing with like a smaller project and you have to present to the squad or the scrum group or the scrum master, whatever it is in like the IT world. Or there are going to be regular team meetings where you come together and have to share what have you done, what's holding you back, like all of that stuff. Like that requires presentation skills, that requires a level of sort of competency in this space to be able to effectively share your message and share your work and share your value, that where what you've done and where you're up to and all that good stuff.
yeah, yeah. My people always, like my developers, always present themselves. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
I remember actually early in the days. I remember I was presenting on behalf of the team, but then I think like midway through, I think the status quo changed a little bit. But also like I became more and more convinced that if I'm presenting it, they're not owning it. They um, they don't feel valued, and they also like the message doesn't get through, and maybe the feedback doesn't get to them from the client. They will be like if I'm presenting and they ask me a question, then developers, even if they are on the call, they will not be paying attention. But if the question is towards you and somebody is looking into your eyes, then you start thinking, right? And you understand, oh, so these requirements, what do they actually mean?
Mm.
Um, you find out, and there's a lot of aha moments, like, oh, we thought it was this, and it's totally different, like the opposite. Um, so I think I like all my people do this, and it's good now that I'm interviewing because now they know who to go to
Yeah.
improve it. Do you have like a do you run a company just for that?
Do I have a company just for what I do?
For I mean for okay for this side of your for the public speaking.
Yeah, so I run this as like a sole tradership basically. So this is like my business, but I'm keeping it as just like me as an independent sort of consultant, sole
Independent
trader.
consultant. Yeah. So you haven't trained anyone yet, like on your own method or framework
No,
to
I've done heaps of it. So I work into the independent consultant. I go into teams and I train people. Like sorry, I wasn't sure of the question. I thought you
no,
were like my business structure.
like right now, like if I were to call you up, it's just you. Yeah, you can't just say, okay, here's my buddy as well. Like I trained him. He knows what to do. Like I'm busy with another project, so I'll send you my I don't know co-founder or like partner or whatever. So
Person.
you're just still on
Yeah.
your own.
Yeah, on my own. So if someone, wants to, understand my methods and all that stuff, they can, hire me to come in and do the workshop, or, buy my book. Because like sometimes, what I often tell people is, sometimes having your own like a resource to work with first might be easier, or sometimes even quicker than necessarily working with a coach to come in and do one-on-one work with you, or if a team wants like some general skills for everyone collectively, then absolutely bring me in as the workshop person. But yeah, sometimes it's really great just to start with like an initial resource to say, hey, let's just read this and see what we can gain from that, and see if we need to do some follow-up work and maybe more individual work from there. But yeah, no, all by myself right now, which
Yeah,
is
yeah,
cool. It'd be fun, I think, in the future, to like a licensing model to get other people who
yeah.
understand my methods,
I guess
get them to do the
provided
training.
provided your method is unique enough. Yeah. So tell me
Mm,
about it. Like, is it? Do you already kind of maybe through mistakes, and iterations again, like you developed it into something that's very unique, or like if I go to anyone else, I don't know, like Tony Robbins, or I don't know, like he's more sales, I guess, but he's also about public
yeah,
speaking, or any other like well-known coach, or I read their book. Is it going to be the same stuff, but you just come and you're just living example of that, or you're completely unique and it 100% works in any case, already like approved by you, like approved. You have the seal of Theo
stamp.
stamp.
It's
Yeah.
interesting because it's really hard to define and create something that is completely unique in this space, because people have been doing it for thousands of years. I have a method which is my own. No one else has like, for example, I've got a few different ones, but one of them that I use sort of as the structure of my book is my 5C methodology. So we look at clarity, uh, sorry, clarity, conciseness, confidence, creativity, and connection. Those are my five. That's my 5C methodology, which we run through as like a
Doesn't matter which
collective
order.
training thing.
Doesn't
Hey,
matter which order. Doesn't matter which order. Does it?
sometimes that's the order I have it in the book.
Yeah.
And there's a few things that I say good to start with this. Doesn't need to end with this, but these are some really important like principles, and I've structured it in that way, just because it flows well.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, that's I guess my own sort of methodology. But I have other ones as well. So I've got like another format, which is like the who, what, why, how of presentation skills and public speaking. So that's just following, like understanding who you are, how we do this, why we do this, and what do you need to do to get it right. So just using, I guess, common formats. Oh, and where, but where is depending on you. So virtual, in person, whatever. Um,
Yeah. That I
yeah,
think that should boost the confidence. Yeah. Like to ask yourself first, like foundation. Who am I? What am I
yeah,
doing on the floor? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Because I think so many people, I guess, the who part from that methodology is important to understand, because who are you as an individual? Because you don't need to compare yourself to others.
Mhm.
I think what we get into a habit of is watching people do some really cool stuff on stages. We have celebrities, we have politicians like Barack Obama or Jacinta Ardern of New Zealand, like all of these sorts of people who are very, very competent and good speakers,
Hmm.
but they're not you, and they don't need to be you because that's their style. So what's your style? What are you as an individual going to bring to the room? Because that's why people are here listening. They're not here to listen to someone pretending to be Brene Brown. They're here to listen to to you as an individual. So what's your unique spin on your presentation that you're going to bring to the table? So stuff like that, which I want people to focus on, and that allows people to feel a little more competent in their own style and to feel a little more comfortable to be themselves, because I think that is also really important. So that's one sort of workshop that I do called Communicate for Impact.
Okay, and that's also your proprietary framework.
Yeah, I mean, it's someone else could come along and
I guess
copy
no.
it,
I guess
or
what I'm asking for, like, again, because I'm coming from agile space, we have
mm,
different methodologies that already kind of have a label name and publicity. So people want a Scrum Master. It means you're going to come in and do Scrum exactly, and you're
mm.
certifying. So can company just come and to you and say, "Oh, there's this public speaking framework. Do you do this exactly that?" Or there's no such thing in public.
I mean, well, public speaking, there's all sorts of there's different frameworks and like the different methods, right? So depends what you want to do. So like my book, I have heaps of methods and stuff in there as well, and I use a lot of different things. But if you get me in just to do like one part of it, that's only going to be a very short kind of thing. But I've got my own sort of frameworks, like the 5C and the who, what, why,
Mhm.
whatever, as I guess workshops and things that are very specific and unique to me. So that's what they would get me in for. Or if they want my training, then that's what they get essentially. Obviously, I can tailor it to the particular audience, give it its own individuality. Note, like I need to understand who's in the room and what they need to gain from it. So it'll be that stuff. They wouldn't say, someone will come to me and say, "Oh, my team need help with presenting virtually. So how can we help them do really good virtual presentations?" Or my team absolutely are afraid of speaking. How do we get them to be good at that? Or my team do really detailed slide decks. I need them to move away from that and to give more dynamic presentations. So how can we work on that stuff? And with all of these things, I would apply my methods and frameworks, but deliver it in a way that's going to be competent for that specific skill set that people are trying to work on. So I've got my stuff. I incorporate other people's stuff. Like I guess my book's a good example of that. I use other people's frameworks and methods, and then I put a spin on it, or I provide my own or examples of where it's been used or stuff like that. Because I've got my own unique stuff, but there's people that have done some really cool things in there, which is worthy of including and worthy of incorporating to help other people because they might not know how to incorporate that stuff.
Yeah, cool. Sounds good. And do you mostly clients come from corporate world, I believe?
Mostly corporate entrepreneurs as well,
Hmm.
small business. So it's an interesting
Like
mix. It's
small
quite
businesses,
cool.
like a CEO or something. Yeah, or like a,
Yep.
and they just want to talk better what to the customers and stuff.
Better to customers, better to know how to pitch. So how do they pitch for investment? So I've
Oh yeah, yeah.
helped a few sort of startup people to say, hey, how do I deliver a very succinct but powerful message for gaining investment? How do I do that?
I need
So
it,
I've
man.
been able to,
I need it.
yeah,
Wow. That, yeah.
yeah,
Well, this is, yeah. Like I think,
mm,
and again, being an IT guy, yeah, with ideas, and
yeah.
being able to even code something up, and bring people together and lead them. Still find it super difficult, like going out there, pitching it, explaining it. So it's totally different world. Again, like you are solving the problem, you're a builder. It's like it's interesting, it's inspiring. Talking to people, you always like, always face judgment like, like what's the revenue forecast, or what's this, oh, you haven't thought of that, so it's like, oh my god, like, come on, we are believing in this idea, it will change the world and stuff like that, and you're just
Yeah.
bombarded with some like numbers and stuff, and you're expecting, and the worst is that, ah so what's that profit is going to be like 5 years from now? I don't know, like it might fail like in first 3 months, like how can I, like, I even feel a bit weird putting any numbers in a pitch deck and talk to it, because I know it's misleading. It's like you just, it's just so hypothetical, yeah. But then they can expect it, and like if you don't do it, but other people, maybe they're more salesmen. They never built anything, they can just like write up. They can be so confident about their number, and they win the investment over those who
Yeah.
actually hardworking and like realistic.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I guess similar principle, similar sort of issues happen in the corporate world, right? So there are some people who are just so technically good at their job; they're really good at that particular thing that they're good at, but they don't know how to necessarily communicate that out to other people, because so then no one else really knows. So one thing I always say is you can be the absolute technical expert at something. So if you're an accountant, you could be number one financial analyst in the world. However, if you're unable to communicate your knowledge to other people, how are other people going to perceive you? Because if you're a 10 out of 10 at speaking at the technical side, but you're a 2 out of 10 on the communication side, how
Yeah.
does the world view you? So it's being able to sort of balance that out to say, you know what, you're going to be a 10 out of 10 here, you can be a 10 out of 10 over here as well, because then everyone's going to be able to appreciate the value that you can bring and the knowledge that you have through how you communicate and present that stuff. So being able to, I
I
guess,
don't think you
marry
can.
the two together.
I don't think you can get like, if you're 10 out of 10 technical, you will never be 10 out of 10 public speaking, because you already shaped that way, and you would never become 10 out of 10 technical if you are not, let's say, a bit autistic. you know? And that's those genius, I don't know, villains or scientists or whatever. But maybe 4-ish with your help.
No, see, we can get people. I like to be able to get people definitely at least to a 7. People don't need to,
Oh wait,
give themselves a that.
seriously, like, did you work with someone like that was 2, and you brought him honestly, like, to yourself? You're not kind of delusional when you say that, okay, this person was too self,
So
like, it happened,
one of the
or
things
it
that
was
I do
how
as
many
well.
months?
One of the things that I do as well. So I run TEDx Hobart, so the speaking event, the community style TED talking stuff.
Yeah,
We find people that have not spoken, so they could be doing their own thing in the business world,
yeah,
doing something innovatively, uh, I don't know, researchers, whatever, they don't need to have spoken before, okay, to speak at a TEDx event. It's not important. It's about
yeah,
having the idea, because the TED concept is about having an idea worth spreading. Well, actually, they've changed their motto now. It's now ideas are everything. So it's all about the idea. The individual is the way to communicate that idea and to share that idea, and that's part of our coaching program that we do with these individuals. So, like one example, and she's incredible. She is someone who English is a second language, someone who was not necessarily comfortable speaking, was able to stand on stage and deliver an 18-minute talk, no script, and it was so heartfelt. It was
mm.
so powerful, and it was such a brilliant talk. So I think it is
How long did it
so
take?
possible. How long did it take? It took a few months.
Yeah,
Took a few months, and it was like, back and forth work. It was, the willingness of that individual to actually take on feedback and to work on it and to practice, because public speaking is a muscle. Like with going to the gym, not that I would know, I look like a string bean, but you know, people that go to the muscle, you work out, you build that up. Speaking's the same, presenting's the same, communicating's the same. You keep doing it, you keep practicing, you keep getting better. So that's the exciting part. It is something that you can become a 10 out of 10 if you wanted to, but it requires constant work. It requires that constant level of dedication to get to that point of being effective at communicating. You need to understand your audience. You need to know, you need to be able to present useful material. You need to provide concise enough information for people to know and pick up the general vibe, but not get bored by it. You need to have a confident sounding voice in order to have a level of authority for people to want to listen.
Mhm.
And you need to be authentic. You need to be yourself. You need to build that connection with your audience so they actually feel like, ah, I trust this person. I feel like I get them. It's incorporating stories. It's incorporating factual information.
Mhm.
It's just such a important
So when you
mesh
work,
of
wait,
things that come
so when
together.
you work on that with that particular person, when you worked, you actually it wasn't just a generic, okay, let's work on your pronunciation or let's work on your confidence. No, like this is the project, TED Talk. Let's design, create it together. It's like you kind of went on a journey together.
Yeah, so this individual has an idea. They put together a script. We like between me and the I guess our speaking coach as well, because we have someone else who works with us on this. Because I do the whole event basically, um, and we run a series of workshops, and then we do individual work with these people. So we give everyone sort of generic, like these are things you need to think about. These are the skills we want you to work on, but then individually, like we do script review. We then help people to actually, you know, prepare for it. We edit some stuff. We give them suggestions. Sometimes it is pronunciation stuff like, oh, that word sounded a little funny. I think we need to like change how that sounds, whatever it could be. It's just, it's a whole, once again, iterative process where you need to you present something, you get feedback, you work on it, you come back, and it's back and forth like that, as well as a lot of, I guess, just one-on-one collaborative work. So we're happy to get our hands dirty and help out and make sure that it's
With
the
the
best
script
thing
even, yeah.
possible.
So like
Yeah,
you adjust the script. I mean, like let's say you say, oh, let's bring some story in it, like, and you ask, okay, any interesting stories around that, yeah, and then person opens up and maybe, oh, let's incorporate that. So this kind of guidance.
yeah. I guess it's very
Also,
individual to the
movie
person,
director, wait,
like a
or
movie director.
show producer, yes, because it's a mini show, so you're a show
Yeah,
producer. Mhm.
yeah. Like so, recently I came on board as the speaker coach for TEDx Cooks Hill. And I asked all the speakers, like, send me your script. And I ran through it, and some of them I said, some of this stuff is really technical. Like, I don't get it. Like, I've got 3 university degrees, and I don't understand it. So how is the general public gonna get it? So we're gonna cut this language out. We're gonna give a definition to this term. We're gonna add like a story element here. We're gonna cut this out. We're gonna move this here. We're gonna change this. This sounds too salesy. We don't want to sell. We can't sell in a TED talk. We don't show value. So let's edit this, do that, and then it's all right. I'm giving this to you. This is my thoughts. This is why I've said it. What do you think? And then it's okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm going to work on this stuff. Theo, I'm back. Okay, I've listened to what you said. I've now done this. What do you think? I'm like, great. This is looking better. Some more suggestions. Now I want to hear you deliver it. I want to hear how you sound when you deliver it. And then we work together on that stuff as well. So it's the how do you articulate? How do you what's your diction like?
Mhm.
How are you presenting on stage? What's your stage presence? Like all of this stuff. So it's
Mm.
the technical stuff, so the script and the stories and the stuff to include and the memory techniques. It's then the actual presentation of it. It's how you sound. It's the tone. There's a lot. There's a lot to this stuff,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's
Well, yeah,
when
if you
you
say a
when you
few
get
months,
there.
do like those famous TED talks that get millions of views. Do they also
Yeah.
get prepared like for a year, like for months?
For if it's the TED stage, so if it is like the big TED conference in Toronto, a lot of them have to do 300 hours of practice, I think.
Of just that 1 hour present, like 30 minutes presentation. So it
Yeah,
has to like
yeah.
you have
I
to
mean,
know it by heart.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I mean, some people don't have that time because they're like busy executives or wherever it might be, and or
So you can't
they already
improvise
know.
there at all. Like you can't improvise there at all.
I mean, you could, but then there's a bit of a risk, right? So, because TED and TEDx events have very strict curatorial guidelines, saying the wrong thing could then get your video banned because
So they will
TED
just not
controls that.
publish it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So that's why we work really closely with everyone because as a licensee of an event, I know all the rules, so I can say you can't say that. That could be bad, considered bad science, or that could get some people offside. So we need to change how we do this stuff. That's why it's like the scripting process is really important.
And are you proud of all? How many speakers you prepared so far for TED speakers?
So 10, 20, 30.
No way.
I reckon plus with TEDx Cooks Hill, it's been over 40, close to
Okay.
50 now.
Wait. If one person takes months, are you doing it at the same time? How many you
Yeah.
can put at the same time?
I mean, there's usually two of us, so two coaches, so we divide and conquer, but we kind of work with everyone, right? So yeah,
So
five at
it's
a
like
time.
wait. So it's a group thing when you prepare
We
them.
do
Not
we do some group stuff. We do some
yeah.
group stuff, but then we do individual work. So all that stuff you heard me say before, the scripting and the coaching,
Yeah.
that's all individual. Then we do
Yeah.
group as well for the generic. You need to know, like, you need to be aware of this stuff. You need to know all of these things,
So,
but then we're going to work with you
right.
individually.
Yeah. Yeah. But and then wow, that's a lot. And they pay you for this, obviously, because you're licensed. No.
This is volunteer.
Oh my God, you did well. Okay, it's just mind blowing. Um,
Yeah,
but I guess like there's a lot of homework, and they have to do a lot. Maybe record videos, and you check them and give feedback and stuff like that. So it's not like you have to spend all the time with them. Are
yeah,
you
exactly.
proud of most of your like, or some people like you look at the final product and you don't want to show it to your friends? Do you have any like
Um,
bad examples?
no, I think everyone that has been on the stage has been amazing.
Really?
Like, yeah,
Wow.
so proud of everyone,
Maybe
everyone. And
maybe
then, I've got private clients that I've then, because they come to me after, like, they've done their talk, that they came to me to, paid me to work with them for, and said, I've got it recorded. What do you think? I'm like, wow, you did so well. Like, from where you were to where you are, incredible. And that's how it is with the TED stuff. Seeing people from the start where they're nervous, shy, excited, terrified, to then having a level of confidence and just being amazing on stage, it makes me very happy. Always very, very proud to see
of
everyone.
course, of course. So and nobody of your how can I say mentees got banned either. So nobody said something wrong, so the TED had to ban that video. No.
No, nothing got banned. I mean, a couple of videos have like a warning on it because Ted interpreted some stuff as like, oh, it could be considered this, but the videos are present and they're available. So,
Okay.
you know, all
Oh,
is very
there's so
good.
much. There was so much like fake news, hate speech, racism, like misgendering. There's so much like
Mm.
it's surprising you can say any word these days. Have to be
you,
like from
you're
the
very
bone. Like
true.
you have to really think like what you're saying,
You do. It's a
or
interesting
be
world out there.
independent, or be so independent like Joe Rogan.
Yeah, yeah,
F
completely.
you money, of fame, F you following.
Yeah,
Yeah, um, that's what
that's
I want to
funny.
do, but without followers. How about I don't want to have a
Early
filter.
days.
I don't want to think. I don't want to swear, but I don't want to think what I'm going to say because I feel constrained and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, okay. Well, so this is your obviously your passion. Like you can talk for hours. What's like where are you taking it forward? Like, do you want to develop in this, or you're just happy as a hobby and where you are? Like, what's the next stage?
I mean, so yeah, this year I published a book which became a bestseller, which won an award, and it's all on, this stuff that I am so passionate and excited by. So I want to use that to help propel me to then speak on other stages and to share this message of how we can communicate more effectively in any sort of environment. So I do want to get in front of, I guess, more stages around the world. I'd love to work with more companies for some of these workshops, um, and really roll it out from there. I'm not doing as much coaching at the moment. I was doing a bit, earlier this month, but oh, sorry, last month and October, I was doing quite a bit of coaching. It's slowing down end of the year right now, but hopefully, that'll pick up next year and get the momentum building for what will be an exciting 2025 in the world of communication and presentation skills. So yeah,
Wow,
more of the fun.
wow. First of all, you mentioned your book, bestseller.
Yeah.
Like every time I hear people talk about the book, it's always bestsellers. I'm just trying to understand, like, how can all the book be bestsellers? So how is it judged that the book is bestseller? It's like one within 24 hours. So how does it work?
Y- Yeah, I'll clarify that just on my book. So it's a Amazon bestseller. It became number one on Amazon in 5 categories, which was really exciting in its
Which is what?
first 24 hours, which was really great. So yeah,
Wait, so in the release, like within the release, 24-hour release, got it got bought by more it got bought by more people than any other book in those 5 categories within first 24 hours.
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
And what are the categories? Like self-help, public speaking, what is it?
Let me check. I have them listed because
Wait,
I
and
can
also
never
how many
remember.
books get released at the same time? So I'm not sure what's that metric measuring, because how many books get released within the same 24 hours? Maybe none. So if the books were already there on the shelf for a long time, people who wanted to buy them already bought it, and then your book comes around. So of course people see the new book and they buy this because they already saw the other books. How is it made? Like, is it the true metric?
It's through all sales in that category, right? All those categories. So it's not just new books, but it's like any, because you know, like the other day, my book was sitting next to Brene Brown's, like number two, and I thought, oh, my book's jumped up again in a category, like a random one, and that was just based on like more sales that day for a
Yeah.
particular reason. So yeah, but the categories I was in as bestseller was business meetings and presentations,
Yep.
business communication,
Wow.
business leadership, business skills, and business management and leadership.
Wow. That's a very narrow categories. Yeah. So it's not like business skills or like office work. Um, so how many categories do they have? 500?
Oh, lots and lots and
Yeah.
lots. Yeah.
Okay. So it's
I
like
think they just know how to like categorize particular things in a particular way. So
if you want
I think,
everyone to be bestseller, you just create category for each one. Yeah. Everyone will be
oh
bestseller.
yeah, yeah, like Middle Eastern women who wear socks.
Oh, really?
That's a category,
That's
let's
a category.
say.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
hooray. Yeah,
But you
fantastic.
yourself, you're happy. You're happy how the book did.
Yeah, I mean, the first 24 hours did really well. And then last month it got, I won an international award for it. So that was,
Wow.
you know,
Mhm.
exciting and rewarding. So yeah, it's all been positive for, a small book from the bottom of the world, basically.
Yeah. 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 Did you print a hard copy as well?
I've got hard copies. Yep,
And they also wait, but for sale on Amazon is the hard copy or just a soft copy?
both. So you can
Both.
get a paperback or you can get the Kindle. Yeah.
Wow. And you don't actually print, you don't do anything. So Amazon does it all for yourself?
Amazon does it, but I've got distributors, so it's for sale like locally in Hobart, like at Dimmicks bookstores. We've got a store here
Wow.
called Fuller's. There's a store here called like Nina Books and Gifts. So like physical copies are available
But it's
through
publishing
distribution as
house,
well.
yeah. So who does it for you? Like you,
Yeah,
you, you never like
yeah.
had to arrange it or distribute or anything, so it's all kind of done. Right? How did it get into Dmox, let's say, like the physical store? Also through Amazon, or you had to arrange?
No, so my publisher works with distributors around the world.
Yeah,
They've got an Australian distributor, and the Australian distributor, printed some books to the Dymix. I think Dymix may have realized, oh, this author's in Hobart, so we'll get some copies.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Oh, and do they charge a lot, or you can't disclose that?
oh, well, the price, I can tell you the price for like the retail price, but that's all I know. Like, I don't know the sort of back end price.
No, I mean, yeah, but you don't get all those money, retail price money, right? So
No,
do you
I
get
get I
do
get
you
a
still get
very
first
small.
sale? Really? So you as author get actually the smallest amount. Like what is it, like 10%? Tell me it's more than
No,
10%.
I
I
get.
will, I will
Sorry,
write
I
it.
meant to get. I meant to get 60% after all the other costs have come out. So publisher, distributor, store, they all get their little chunk, and then or Amazon, whoever it is, and then I get 60% of what's left of that.
Which could be what? Like, well, okay, and who gets another 40? The publisher.
Great question. Look, I don't know all the details. I can't remember. I don't have the contract in front of me to tell you, but
Okay.
that's
Do
what I
you know do
remember.
you know
Like,
how much you're getting per book? Like, do you
no,
know?
uh, no, I haven't been paid yet. I don't get paid until I get paid twice a year. So
It just came
yeah,
out. When did it come out?
it came out in June, but the next sort of pay cycle would be January.
Okay, we'll have to talk again.
Yeah, send me a message. What did you make? How much?
Yeah, well, yeah, well, yeah. Otherwise, what's the point? Yeah. Well, no, I guess publicity,
No, see
fame,
the
fame.
point isn't for money.
Hmm.
Point isn't for money. So really, like books aren't good money makers unless you're like a Harry Potter author or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Like
yeah, 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 yeah.
you know,
Especially,
like a
yeah,
book. Like
but
if
it
you
will
look at,
definitely
I
will.
guess if you look at the word authority, author sits in there. To have authority, to be the person who like is known for this stuff, being an author makes a lot of sense.
Of course,
So
yes,
yeah,
yes.
it's good.
Okay, so the book is there, bestseller, doing well. You're happy, but that's just a vehicle to bring you to the next. So what's the ultimate, the final station? Like, what's that person you want to coach? I don't know, next president of Australia, or like
Why
some
not?
famous person, or like is that, or just establish it as a like business, and you have like formalize your methodology and become well known and establish like multi like network around the world. Where are you going?
I don't know yet. That's the fun part. I'm discovering it because right now I live a portfolio career. So lawyer and coaching, speaking, author, online course creator, TEDx stuff. Like there's all these things. A lot of that is the business stuff, obviously, but it'll be about all right. What do I want to do with it, and how do I bring it to the next
You
step? So
know
that's
that you
fun.
have to
That's
give
fun.
up. Yeah, and you have to give up everything for one if you really want to succeed in that one. You know that in the back of
I
your
don't
head.
know.
You know
I
that.
don't know. I don't know. Like
Because no, because if you keep doing 10 things at a time, you will never be like number one or brilliant or whatever, right? Oh no, you disagree, or maybe you
can
can.
never be sure.
So,
Maybe you
oh
can. I
really?
don't know.
You really think so? Okay, you want to try
Why not?
exactly that? You want to keep doing? Yeah, you need help.
All right, help me, Serge. Let's do it.
No, I mean, like, is there a wife to help you? Like, like a lot
No,
of
single.
businesses seem to, because a lot of like small businesses or whatever, like children start to help out, and like
Yeah.
distribute whatever, and then it grows and grows and grows, like, or you find friends, like people like-minded and stuff like that.
Mm.
On your own, just juggling so many things. Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, I'm puzzled.
It can be a challenge, but you know what? Who doesn't love a challenge? So
Yeah, yeah. Elon Musk has a lot of companies he runs. Yeah, well, he's got a lot of thousands of people to help him. But
he's got a lot of people. Yeah.
yes, no, but still, like if you remove him from one of those companies, will probably go bankrupt, or never happened, and why there's no competition who do exactly the same. So he definitely adds a lot of value in his very limited time now if you split it. Maybe you're one of those. I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of the opposite. I like this gesture. um, but I kind of run out. I have ideas, startups. I like to do many things at the same time. Then I
Yeah.
just get exhausted, and I just start hating that thing, and then I have to move on, like maybe to forget, like not to think about that it was a failure. Maybe that's like psychological, but I have to kind of always move on. And I thought previously, well, previously, early in the days, it was just me doing thing, like soul warrior, and then I hated because like it never came to like anything interesting. But then I started involving people, and I got to the
Mm.
point where I so many people, then they also drain energy from you because it feels like you are the prime mover, and then you have to repeat the same message, and you have to like inspire people, give them love, and they like, and you feel like you just step aside a little bit, thinking they will take over, and then they don't, and it's just like everything relies on you. You step aside, everything just people wander away, and everything slows down, and you understand like, so I have to just keep being involved, spend my energy. And I hate this not even more. Like it's still better because people actually do the work for you. You don't do as much work.
Mm.
But it's still exhausting, and it's still I reached the limit. So tell me, you did it for a long time now. Yeah, this public speaking. How long was it for? This
The public speaking stuff. I've been doing
public
it.
speaking side of
Well,
yours. Still
as a
alive.
business, as a business, it's been in place for 4 years.
4 years. Still loving it.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. What else you doing? So legal profession. 10 years, 15.
10. Yep.
Still loving it.
Yep.
Don't mind doing it. Would not trade one for the other.
No. No, I like both because for me
Okay.
they're both so different. They're so fun in
What
their own
else?
way.
What else is there? Did you mention? Did you just mention the course creator?
Yeah, because I've got an online course, but that's like done. It sits there. People buy it if they want
And
it.
that's part of the coaching. Yeah.
No, it's a buy off the shelf product, so people can just buy that.
Yeah.
And
No, but I mean, it's to do with like public speaking training,
yeah,
or it's something else.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. What else
yeah.
is there? And it's just this then. So it's just your job and your.
Job in the business, and the business has its own arms, right? So it's got the speaking workshops, MC work, the online course, the coaching, and the book.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, one man show. Well, you're the greatest
Yeah,
showman.
that's it.
Cool. Anything else you would like to add?
Nah, nah. I think we've covered a lot of ground.
Yep, definitely. Well, super pleased to meet you. It was
You
it was
too.
a great discussion. Um, I think a lot of people. I will definitely be recommending you. Maybe even ask for advice or hire you if you're not too expensive. Um, and yeah, good luck with juggling things.
Thanks so much. Well, yeah, keep the juggle alive.
Awesome. Thanks, mate. Thanks for doing it.
Thanks.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.